Welcome back to Rumor Society. On this channel, we share our opinions on social media stories and headline news. Now let's get into today's story.
So this story is a bit bizarre. Typically, the best man is responsible for planning a bachelor party, holding on to the rings during the wedding ceremony, sometimes even giving a toast to the bride and groom during the reception. Well, one best man is now facing criminal charges after he allegedly shot a man at a wedding last weekend. Just for reference, this incident occurred in Minnesota. Court records show Stefan Andrew James is accused of shooting a man in both legs after the victim arrived at a wedding uninvited and got into a shouting match with the groom. Police responded to the shooting just after 5:30 p.m. last Saturday. The victim was found bleeding heavily from gunshot wounds to both legs. After receiving aid from officers on the scene, medics rushed him to Regions Hospital. Witnesses told officers the shooter was a man with dreadlocks, wearing formal attire. The gunman was last seen jumping into a black Dodge SUV and calling for a woman and 3 kids to get in the car before driving off. Police spoke with the groom, who said the shooting victim had shown up without an invitation and acted aggressive towards him. The groom also stated that the victim shoved him, and the next thing he heard was a gunshot, though he claimed not to have seen who fired the gun. The wedding photographer told police he saw the shooter get involved in an argument between the groom and the victim. He recalled seeing the shooter shove the victim and hearing 2 gunshots before the victim fell to the ground and he ran off. At the hospital, the victim told police he was at the wedding to pick up his wife and kids and chose to confront the groom about not attending a funeral or including his kids in the wedding. The victim claimed the groom shoved him, but he did not respond. He alleged the shooter pulled out a gun and said, "We aren't playing that ish," before shooting him. He went on to positively identify the shooter as Stefan James. Investigators tracked the shooter's Dodge SUV to his girlfriend's house. A search warrant of the home uncovered black pants and a black dress shirt. Allegedly, this is what the shooter was wearing at the time of the incident. Police arrested James the same day after spotting him getting into a car in St. Paul. At that point, James had cut his dreadlocks, and a 9mm handgun was found underneath the passenger seat of the vehicle. During questioning, James was evasive. He's alleging that he cannot remember what took place at the wedding. Eventually, James said he didn't want to talk anymore and invoked his right to an attorney. At this time, he's facing charges of 1st and 2nd degree assault. This whole incident could have been avoided. I understand as the best man, you want to be looking out for your friend. Regardless of who was pushing who, you could have gotten between them, broken up the fight, and just escorted him out. I'm glad to know that the victim did survive. He's lucky bystanders were there and were able to help with the bleeding. I hope this is a lesson to him. Please don't show up anywhere trying to confront people. Regardless of the groom's intention, it was still his wedding day. You're showing up at his wedding uninvited, trying to argue with him. I'm not trying to make it seem like the shooting was justified. I'm just trying to understand the mindset of the victim. The victim and the groom has to be some type of family. They're connected somehow. Because for him to be upset that he didn't show up to a funeral, whoever funeral it was, and then for him to be angry that his children were not a part of the wedding, clearly you guys were not on good terms. So why is there expectation that your children should be included in the wedding? In no way am I trying to take responsibility off the shooter. I'm really not, because he's completely wrong for what he did. But I'm also looking at the victim sideways as well. It's clear that he was there for some type of confrontation. He probably wasn't expecting it to escalate to him getting shot. I 100% feel like he went there with the intention to ruin this man's wedding. And unfortunately for him, he bit off more than he could chew. He showed up with his fist ready to fight, and someone else was there with a weapon to teach him. I just feel like people need to be more mindful, especially approaching a situation in an aggressive manner. There's a time and a place for everything. Clearly, this was not the time or the place to be confronting anyone. That's just my thoughts on this. Please share yours in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.